This is the Swarm and Shoot football show with me, Manny Matsakis, the head football coach at Defiance College. We feature Defiance College football and everything that influences our program. This show is brought to you by our friends at Big B Coffee right across campus on North Clinton Street. I'm actually having a cup right now, so everybody check it out on YouTube, and you can see the video of the cup and how delicious this beverage is. Get the finest coffee beverages, even tea, in Defiance, as well as great pastries, breakfast sandwiches to start your day off, and you can even get a pick-me-up like a lot of our coaching staff does in the afternoon. I'd also like to bring on board the maker of this fine apparel right here, and not just Nike, but we're talking about BSN Sports, all right? I'd like to bring on board our latest sponsor, BSN Sports, and Rob Held and his sales team are the professionals you need to get in touch with for all your sporting goods and apparel needs in Ohio. Not only do they work with high school and college sports teams, they also deliver outstanding apparel to businesses so they can brand themselves in a first-class manner. This is episode 48 of the Swarm and Shoot football show. I have with me our man, Tristan Yeomans. Tristan is down in Georgia, Florida line area there. And he is our receivers coach as well as our special teams coordinator. How's it going, Tristan?
Going well, Coach. Going well. Can't complain.
Good. We're reeling them in recruiting, and it's an awesome time. All this stuff is up right now on Twitter, Instagram. We're posting all the guys that have deposited so far. So our fans out there can check that out and get some good quality video of these guys. And I have to admit, the videos look pretty good. You know,
that's right. I agree. Yes, sir.
So it's exciting about the new guys coming in. But before we get into some general ideas about how you feel about the class so far coming in, how about the guys that are returning right now? Have you been able to stay in touch with these guys during this whole pandemic?
I have. It was with some of our meetings that we've done, just me keeping in touch with them, checking in on them. For the most part, those guys seem that they're working hard, and I can believe it because I saw what they were doing in the weight room before we kind of shut everything down. So they were making really good progress there, and I expect them to keep carrying it on. So when I check in with them, for the most part, they give me what they're doing, updates as far as physical activity. So we're a really young group, obviously all around, but I think that with a few older guys and Terry Geiger, Amin Shahid, those guys kind of set a really great example for those younger ones, which is kind of what I'm looking for this new class coming in. We've got a really good nucleus of guys as far as wide receivers. So there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to set great examples for when these newcomers come in. So I'm excited for that.
Oh, absolutely. And I think last year the guys made some significant improvements. They were very young. I mean, you got a lot of guys with absolutely no college experience and also some guys that were just newcomers to the program that you had just alluded to with Terry and Amin. They ended up being key contributors in our season last year. How do you feel with, even though we know we didn't have spring ball, but you're right, we did make great gains in the weight room with Coach Shank. So what do you see as far as the receivers? What did you notice with this group that we had in the spring and some guys that made big gains in the weight room for us?
The biggest thing for me, which was one of the lifts that Coach Shank does a great job in, is our power clean technique, our explosive type lifts. They did a great job getting more of their hips involved in it, which is key to me. Hip flexibility is huge in football, and those guys got a lot more explosive, which as a receiver, coming off the line and finishing your route is all about explosion. It's not necessarily the biggest, strongest, and fastest guy, but that dude that can explode off the line. And we did such a good job, those guys, because you didn't know what to expect. Them being freshmen in college, you had no idea what to expect, the type of energy. So for them to go in there and attack it the way they did with such a young group and have the turnout that we did, I'm so pumped up for the season because I think they made tremendous gains in little time. And there's no telling, here in the next few years or few months how they can be and what they can be as an individual player.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And, it was fun for me to see these guys making those gains in the weight room. Now, so we have 9, 10 guys coming back at this point, right? Who are some guys that you feel really good about? I mean, you like the whole group, but I mean, some specific guys that maybe our fans out there haven't seen yet.
I feel good. I really like and looking forward to seeing TJ Clark, Gabe Melvin play. TJ's a bigger body guy.
Hmm.
He's a freshman. Him and Gabe are both freshmen, but TJ just what he does. He's a strong. He's a physical dude. Out
Hmm.
there. So I'm looking forward to it. I think he's got a chance to really do some damage as far as bullying some teams out here in this
Yeah.
conference. And with Gabe Melvin and his speed, I think he was a track runner in high school. He did it actually in college before everything got shut down. So, his speed, he develops and gets a little bit bigger. He's going to be a phenomenal player. There's no doubt to add even some more depth. And one guy we moved late from defense, Machari Biggums. I think he is a special player. I think he is an electric player, and he's got a chance to do some really big things for us.
Mhm. Yeah, Machari's the kind of guy that could play on either side of the ball. It just, the key is like with all these guys, it's like they got to train hard and have a great summer and put themselves in position to compete, because there is going to be a significant amount of competition come training camp.
That's right.
Now, as far as the incoming class, everybody out there understands that we can't say specifically guys' names, but that the guys have deposited already are, you can see their stuff on social media because we're allowed to release it that way. But as a class, when you look at guys, I mean, we play a 4 wide receiver set primarily. We like to get some taller guys on the outside and some maybe shiftier guys on the inside. Who do you see as the outside receiver types that, as far as like the prototype? What have we been able to sign and bring in so far? What type of guys are we looking at there?
Well, one guy specifically that sticks out to me is the mid-year enrollee in Jeremy Starks. He's a
Yeah.
6'4" type guy. I think he's got a chance to do some good things out on the edge. Once he really gets to learn this offense in depth. And as far as what we're bringing in a lot of shifty guys. I think that are going to do well in the slot from all over the place. South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia. Obviously me, I'm a big fan of the Southeastern recruits. So,
Hmm.
but we got a lot of good talent coming from all over. So I'm excited. So I'm looking for some big things specifically from Jeremy outside. I think he's got a chance to do some good stuff. And then on the other side, I could see, obviously everything's up in the air for us right now, but I could see your guy like that's got really good hands to me, even though he might be a bit shorter, is Brian Robbins. A guy that we're bringing back from Texas. So he's got really good hands. He does a great job at progressing. It's not that you don't just arrive and you get there as a wide receiver. You got to continually progress and get better. He understands that to be so young. So and we're bringing in a few other guys that are in the 6'2", 6'3" range as well. And I'm excited to see what those guys can do, because that length, that height is something that you can't train. So I'm excited to see where that goes.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And, a lot of those newcomers, everybody out there, just like I said, check them out on Instagram and on Twitter, and you'll see who these receivers are. And it's going to be fun. So everybody we have mentioned is currently in the program, which we're allowed to talk about those guys. Now, shifting gears a little bit in the kicking game, we're looking at guys who's returning for us in special teams when you're talking about specialists at this point.
So we have our 2 snappers. We've got Colton Hines and Noah Pastore. Those guys made tremendous gains in the weight room. They were always on time, 15 minutes early, ready to come to work. They knew where they had to get better at, and that was the weight room specifically. And then our punter Bryce Cooley might be the strongest player on the team. Great technique in what he does. Kind of upset that he's just punting for us, but I'm also not, because I think he's got a chance to be really, really good and understand with our scheme that it's not just about dropping a bomb to the right and the left on the punt team. We're going to roll out, we're going to roll left, and kind of place that thing over the field. So when he understands that, with his talent he's got with his leg, I think he's got a great chance to be good. And then, the kicking situation's wide open right now. Got a few guys we're looking at. We got one coming in from Kentucky, so I'm excited to see what he can do. He looks really good, and he's all about Defiance College, so I'm excited to see where he goes.
Yeah, that's fantastic, Coach. And, we are, as a staff, I think the recruiting has been going very good. I mean, we're certainly quite a bit ahead of pace from where we were a year ago at this time. So that makes it for an exciting campaign coming up. And we'll know more as we get through and hear from the conference and start dates and all that stuff, because it's we're basically waiting to see how things lay out for training camp. But in the meanwhile, as well as I do, just stay on top of these guys and, keep recruiting like you're doing. And then we'll see you soon. Okay.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I appreciate your time.
All right. There we go. Thank you for joining us on this latest episode of the Swarm and Shoot Football Show. If you're listening to this podcast, make sure to subscribe in iTunes, give us a rating, comment on the show. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the bell in the top corner there so you can get notifications when we release the next show. Feel free to comment below on a specific show, and we'll answer those questions as we need to. If you'd like to step up to the next level and get all kinds of updates, go to our website, swarmandshoot.com, where you'll get up-to-date alerts on all of our podcasts. You'll have the audio on there. There's actually a video player where you can scroll through each and every episode that we have of the podcast from the YouTube version. So you never really have to leave the site. You'll also see some features on various players, our coaching staff bios, all types of things going on in our program, when our golf scramble is, different fundraisers we do, just insights for you that take you to that next level, which is what swarmandshoot.com will do for you. Take a minute and subscribe with your email. When you log on, there'll actually probably be a pop-up about 6 seconds into it, and it gives you a chance to go in, and that will put you into our email database. So every time we update, you get an email knowing that we're basically set to go on the next episode of the podcast or any news that's coming out. Appreciate you supporting the program, and look forward to a wonderful season.